Diane, I need to talk to you. This is imprudent. Get back to me ASAP.
Mom, what's going on? I'm on break now. I can talk for a bit. Is everything okay?
Good. This is important, so I want you to listen carefully. It's official now. Oliver's getting married. It's a match made in heaven. I couldn't be happier for them. We just went to meet the bride, to Bee's family at their house. We had a wonderful time.
What? You went to their house? I wasn't even told about it. Why didn't you invite me? It was a family meet and greet, right?
Yeah, but you know, you're always at work or locked in your room painting, and you never go out anymore. I didn't think it was necessary to let you know of yet another event you can't attend.
No, Mom. I could have adjusted my shifts at work, understood. It's a big deal. I'm Oliver's only sister. Of course I want to be there to support him. I want to meet Oliver's fiancé's family too, and I bet they intended for the whole family to come. I hope they weren't offended I missed it.
Diane, you've always been such a clueless girl. Ever since you were little, you think you not being there would make a bad impression? Quite the opposite. Having a failure at the table would be such an embarrassment for your brother and for us as parents. This was not one of your pot-smoking grunge parties. These are sophisticated people. Your brother went to an Ivy League university, did his master's, and has an amazing job at a hedge fund. You, on the other hand, are a bartender with no prospects. A total disappointment. I was never going to invite you in the first place. I don't want them associating us with the kind of uneducated, unintelligent bums that you hang around.
Is that really how you feel about me?
Look, this isn't an ordinary family we're talking about. Oliver's fiancée, Marlene, is the daughter of a couple with a very lucrative family business. Their company is grossing hundreds of millions, and they kept it all in the family. Marlene's a legit heiress, Diane. She's highly educated as well. She graduated top of her class at Yale and got her master's at Harvard. She works for a financial company now and is making 7 figures. She's only 26, Diane. Now, let's take a look at my 27-year-old daughter. She declared she wanted to become an artist, applied to a bunch of art programs but couldn't get into any, and ended up becoming a bartender. You have to understand there are places where you just can't fit in, and this is one of those times you're just better off staying away. For everyone's sake.
Wow, Mom! Alright, I get it. So I'm always going to be the black sheep of the family. I'm used to Oliver talking to me like that, but I never thought you'd all ostracize me like this. I guess I'm not welcome anywhere with you guys.
That's right, Diane. I guess you're starting to get the picture. Oh, wait, there's more though. So we got to talking at the wonderful lunch they set up for us, and it turns out Marlene's workplace is quite close to our house. It's about 10-mile walking distance, and that got us thinking about Oliver and Marlene moving into our house. It just makes sense. When they get married, they can live in our house. We could make it comfortable for the newlyweds.
Moving in with your in-laws right after getting married. Are you sure Marlene is okay with that? It doesn't seem that comfortable to me. It seems a little rushed. You barely even know each other that well yet, and living under the same roof can be stressful, even for family. Take it from me. I'm sure they would rather move out and get their own place and enjoy newlywed life with just the two of them.
You'd think so, right? But they're both actually all for living at home with us. What a happy surprise. I think it's because they're both so realistic and financially aware. Such impressive kids. They say this way they can be close to us and save money on rent and utilities so they can put away more money for the future. They're so responsible. You could learn a thing or two from them, Diane. They're both professionals and work long hours, so I offered to do all the housework. That way they can focus on their careers and not worry about little things at home. Marlene was very happy to hear that. It seems she had a nanny and housekeeper all her life, so she's not used to doing housework.
Yeah, I guess that's nice for her. So now Marlene is going to be living with us too. It's going to be a full house, 5 adults under one roof. I'm not sure how I feel about this. It's so sudden and I haven't even met her yet. You're basically inviting a stranger to live with us. You're really fine with this?
Oh, Diane, you keep missing point. Clueless as usual. You think you're going to be here as well? You've got to think pretty highly of yourself to think that you can just mooch off your parent at 27? No. It's time for you to get out. We're going to be redoing your room for Marlene. She's going to need a home office, and it should help her feel much more comfortable moving in with us. So it's time you pack your things and get out. You're taking up precious space.
What? You're kicking me out. I just found out Oliver got engaged, and suddenly I'm homeless.
Oliver is a blessing to our family. He's accomplished everything we'd hoped he would and then some. He's successful and found a well-educated girl from a very good family to marry. You, on the other hand, are a failure that couldn't even get into art school. It's like you with the anti-Oliver. You can't do a single thing right. You're flipping bartender at some miserable hole for low-libs. What are you doing with your life? There's no ambition, no advancement, no future. And don't even get me started on your personal life, or lack thereof. What adult stays at home painting all day on her days off? That's why you haven't had a boyfriend in years. Pathetic. You're never going to give me any grandchildren. Honestly, I don't see you benefiting this family in any way. We don't need you around anymore. Got it? Haha.
You've been pretty honest with me all my life, I think. You've always berated me for not being as good as Oliver and told me I'm worthless and didn't deserve all the things that he got. I remember when we were in elementary school and he wanted a BMX bike for his birthday, and you guys got it for him. It was more than $2,000. And remember what I got? I asked for a Barbie art kit, and you guys gave me construction paper and paint. I always knew you loved Oliver more than me. I can remember hundreds of stories like that.
Haha, so you knew. Knew. That's good. I don't need to keep explaining it to you. You should still appreciate that although you were never able to hold a candle to your brother, we did still raise you and let you stay in this house this long. We even paid for you college. You should be grateful for that. Well, that's about it. You should start looking for somewhere to rent right away. You'll need to arrange to move your stuff too. Don't forget. I need you out by the end of the month. We're already arranging for someone to come renovate first thing next month.
Wait, what? By the end of this month? That's not enough time. How am I supposed to find somewhere and make all the arrangements?
That's not my concern. If you have a problem with that, I'm going to shorten the deadline to the end of this week. I'll get someone to pack your stuff and throw it on the curb if I have to. Good luck finding somewhere you can rent with your minimum wage bartender job. You should have taken life more seriously if you wanted to be able to afford a place sans cockroaches. Haha.
Immediately after.
Hey, buttface. How you doing? I heard Mom and Dad are finally kicking you out, huh? That's hilarious. Even your own parents can't stand you. Mom is so happy she says she's going to make a special celebratory dinner for us. She's so glad to have the disappointing loser daughter out of the house.
I bet. She's hated me all life. I guess she was just waiting for a good excuse to come along. You're getting married to a rich, well-educated girl from a good family. That's exactly the kind of thing Mom wants to brag about to her friends. On top of that, you're willing to live in the house with her so she can fawn over you all day. And she gets to kick out her black sheep daughter that she's never approved of. She must be over the moon. This is the best case scenario that she could have ever imagined.
Don't make yourself out to be the victim here. It's your own fault, your failure, and haven't accomplished anything worthwhile. Mom just appreciates excellence and hard work. She wants to be proud of her kid, which is only natural, I'd say. It's you that failed her as a daughter. Who doesn't get into art school? I mean, not just the art programs at universities, but actual plain old art schools. What a joke! And you have the nerve to talk like Mom's somehow a horrible mother that can't love her own child. I'd say she's the victim here, raising a worthless daughter all this time.
Seriously, you're the one that destroyed my art portfolio so I couldn't apply anywhere. You destroyed everything I'd drawn and painted all through high school.
It meant so much to you. You shouldn't have left it out where I could find it. It was just sitting there on the living room sofa. My friends and I wanted to play with water balloons and water guns, so we needed a target. We just grabbed whatever we could find, you know. I mean, we were all pretty drunk, so I don't really remember that well.
Yeah, you totally ruined my life, but whatever. It was a long time ago. I'm not going to start digging up things from the past. There's no point rehashing it anyway. I hope you treat your fiancé better than you did me, though. I mean, you decided to marry her, so she must mean a lot to you. I'm guessing she doesn't know what a scumbag you are, right? She wouldn't be marrying you if she knew how bad you are. You better hide your ugly side real well, if she'll dump you for sure. I've seen your hateful, cruel side. It's not good.
You don't have to tell me, Diane. Marlene thinks I'm a kind and caring gentleman. This is great opportunity for me, too. She makes good money and is okay to move in with Mom and Dad. I'm pretty lucky I found one that's good for my wallet and good for my family. I'm not letting a catch like that go. I'll act nice if I have to. It's part of the deal.
Okay, big brother. Good luck counting on it. You better not lose your temper and show your real self. Well, I better get back to work. My break is over and I'm needed for dinner prep. Oh, I almost forgot. Congratulations on your engagement, Oliver. I hope you have a great life together. 3 years later.
Diane, answer your phone. I need to talk to you. You need to come back home right away. If you're working, take some emergency leave or something. Here as soon as possible.
Oh, hi, Mom. It's been a while. What's going on? Is everything okay? This is really out of the blue. What do you mean you want me to come home right away? Did something happen?
Oliver was in a car accident. He almost died, and he's had 5 surgeries already. They say his life is no longer in danger, thank God, but he's never going to be able to walk again, Diane. He's paralyzed from the waist down. There's a lot going on right now, and this is a family matter, and we need all hands on deck. We need all hands on deck. We need all hands on deck. We need to discuss what's going to happen, so we need you to come back immediately.
Oliver was in an accident. Oh my gosh! Paralyzed! How did this happen? It's going to change his life forever.
He was driving at night in the snow down Leicester Street and his car skidded, going around that curve before High Park. He was thrown from the car right through his windshield. The force threw him straight into the guardrails and he was trapped there for 2 hours by the time someone found him. The doctors did everything they could and were able to save his life, but the damage to his spinal cord was irreversible. They told us he's going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
That's crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Okay, so now you understand you need to get back here right away. You're needed here. Oliver is going to need daily care and treatment from now on. He's going to have to learn to do things gradually, but right now, he can't even go to the washroom by himself. From now on, our whole family is going to have to pitch in to support your brother. He needs 24/7 care right now. You can get back here today, right? We're exhausted taking care of Oliver and talking to the doctors. We want you to take a shift this afternoon until tomorrow morning.
Sorry, Mom. I don't think I can make it over today on such short notice. I have work tomorrow, and I can't just take off. I would have to make arrangements before I go.
You're saying your work is more important than your own brother? How can you speak like that about your own family? Make arrangements. You need to get over yourself. You have a crap job anyone could do. Just find someone around the bar and get them to do it. Even a monkey could open bottles or pour drinks in a glass.
I've actually started my own business since I moved out. I can't really leave my work with someone else. I feel bad about the situation with Oliver, but there are 3 adults in the house that can help take care of him. I don't think you need me to be there. Maybe you get some rest and calm down, and think about how you're going to make things work in a realistic way. Look for different options.
We don't have that kind of time. Your dad and I are completely overwhelmed with all this. Marlene took off on the day of the accident, and we haven't heard from her since. We can't count on her to help take care of him. She actually stole the insurance payout Oliver got for his accident. She swiped it right from his bank account.
What? I thought she was a well-educated girl from a good family. What happened?
I mean, yeah, Marlene was nice. The thing is, Oliver was on a date with his girlfriend when he was in his accident. When Marlene went to see Oliver at the hospital, she found out he was having an affair. She was obviously shocked at the fact that her husband was in such a severe car crash, but the blow she received from hearing about Oliver's infidelity seems to have made her snap. She sat quietly for a while, stood up with no expression on her face, and just said she couldn't stand by a man who cheated on her, however badly he may be injured. Then she just walked out of the room. Nobody's seen her since. She completely abandoned your brother at his lowest point in life.
Oh, wow. What a nightmare. But I can understand her point of view. Oliver was cheating on her, right? You can't blame her for not wanting to stick around. I can see how the timing sucks, but Oliver being hurt doesn't change the fact that he was having an affair. It's a sad situation, for sure.
What are you talking about? This is not how a wife is supposed to act. If she leaves, it's just us parents here to support Oliver in his daily life. How is that going to work? Your dad's still working and is barely home. He's not going to be of much help. So it all comes down on my shoulders, but I'm getting up there in years too, and my back is not what it used to be. I'm worried I'm going to blow out my back and need care myself if I have to keep looking after a 200-pound man. There's no way we can manage on our own. We need you to come back and help out, Diane. Your family. Get back here right away. It's the least you could do to make up for all the times you disappointed us.
I'm sorry, Mom, but just telling me over and over again to come back home isn't going to make it possible. I have real responsibilities. I run an art gallery now and have a private viewing scheduled tomorrow. I need to entertain investors and potential customers. I also run an art collective and have interviews and promotions coming up too. I honestly don't have any time to leave the city. Plus, there's plane tickets to buy. I can't just pop over for the day or anything like that.
Diane, you ungrateful little brat. I raised your no-good butt for more than 20 years. Your wonderful brother always helped me take care of you as you constantly messed up and cried for attention. Don't you think it's about time you repay him for all his kindness and attention while you were growing up? Only truly heartless person would abandon her brother at a time like this.
I remember Oliver tormenting me as a child, breaking the things I love and constantly playing pranks on me and my friends. But I don't remember him ever being kind or helpful towards me growing up. It was mostly hateful bullying. Besides, if you want to talk about giving back to the successful brother, maybe you should apply that to yourself. You've been able to brag about his accomplishments to your friends and feel good about yourself through him for years now, right? I think it makes sense that you'd want to pay him back for all the good he's done for your life. You know, I do hear rumors about you guys sometimes from my friends back home. Oliver paid to renovate the house completely and make it into a duplex, right? That's surprisingly generous of him.
I know, but I can't do it by myself. My back is not strong enough and my knees are getting weaker too. It's too much for someone my age. Your brother needs our help, Diane. He's paraplegic now. It's a family tragedy, but we need to find a way to get through this. This is the kind of thing that a family has to unite to take care of their own. You're part of this family, aren't you? As Oliver's younger sister, you have an obligation to your family to come home. Don't be an ingrate, just do your part. Don't you feel bad for your brother? He's never going to be able to walk again. Not just walk, he's going to miss out on so many things in life.
Nope. Sorry. I don't feel bad for him at all.
What? How can you say that?
Anyway, good luck taking care of your paralyzed son. I'm not going to be helping with his care.
There's lots of ways to be a caregiver, even if your back and knees aren't what they used to be. Just look it up online. I'm sure you can find a tutorial video or something.
As you always said, I might as well never open a book because I'm as dumb as a doorknob, but I'm sure a smart, successful woman like you could breeze through it. You could probably take a few courses or crack a few books and learn to be a caregiver, no problem.
What? What are you talking about? I'm not going back to school. Stop being ridiculous and come back home. Just pack some stuff to stay for a few days for now, and we'll figure the rest out later. This is a time for the family to come together. Don't be selfish. That's what families do.
Really? That's news to me. I thought a family is where they tear down people's hopes and dreams. A group where everybody gangs up on the weakest one and bullies her relentlessly until they finally kick her out completely.
What does this have to do with anything?
Well, that's the only kind of family I know. I don't know what you mean about being supportive. You understand. You're the one that ran me out of the house. You talked Dad into it and never looked back after it either.
Oh my God, Diane. Are you still mad about that? I guess you can hold a grudge for a long time? Look, that was just timing and circumstances, you know. There was nothing I could do about it. Oliver was getting married, and it's true there wasn't any room for his finesse at the time. You can understand that, right? Besides, I knew it was time for you to get out there in the world, and I was right. 3 years later, you have your own art gallery. That never would have happened if I didn't push you to get out there. I've always wanted the best for you, Diane. I didn't want to kick you out, but cared about you too much to let you stay. You weren't going to move on to the next stage in life if you just stayed living with your parents forever. I wanted you to have freedom and independence.
Wow, Mom, I had no idea you were so creative. Did you just come up with that on the spot? That's quite impressive, haha. Maybe you're where I got my creativity from. Yes, I'm independent now, to a point where even hearing that my brother was in a serious accident and became a paraplegic doesn't even faze me.
Wait, stop. You're not actually abandoning us, are you? You're really not going to come back home. We're suffering here. We don't even know how to have the things needed for his treatment. Oliver's going to have to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, Diane. And he'll have to go through painful physical therapy for years to be able to learn to use his body again.
I know, Mom. I'm not a monster. I'm not happy Oliver got hurt or they can't walk. I didn't want his life to be ruined. But of course, it was kind of like he ruined my life, so I guess that's why I'm not so sympathetic about it. I really hit rock bottom when he destroyed my portfolio and sabotaged any chance of me going to art school. I literally thought my life was over.
What? What are you talking about? What's a portfolio?
You can ask Oliver about it. He may be paralyzed from the waist down, but he can still talk, right? There's going to be hours upon hours for you to spend time with him from now on. I'm sure he'll share a few stories about tormenting his sister growing up.
Wait, Diane, hear me out. Okay, I get it. You have a life now. You don't have to move back in. Just send us some money.
What? Money for what?
There are so many expenses. I don't even know where to start. Remember the renovation to make this house into a duplex? It wasn't just a little rearranging. We basically tore down half the house and rebuilt add-ons. It was very costly. The loan for all of the renovation costs were in Oliver's name, and he's responsible for all payments. Your brother's not going to be able to work for the foreseeable future, and he's had to quit his job already. Like I said, Marlene took all the insurance money Oliver got and disappeared saying distress, so his bank account is almost empty at this point. If we don't start making payments soon, they're going to foreclose on this house. We'll have to move out.
Right! You need to make the loan payments for the renovation. Can't Dad handle it? He's still working in.
The payments are so expensive we can't cover it on your father's salary. The renovation was crazy expensive, but Oliver made good money, so he signed off on it. If you're not going to help with taking care of Oliver, I can't go out and get a job, so somebody's going to have to pay the loan payments. I think if you're not going to pitch in physically, you should at least pitch in financially. Either way, something's going to have to be done. Oliver, unfortunately, can't take care of himself anymore. $2,000 a month should be enough to cover the loans and medical expenses. You're making decent money now, right? Come on, Diane. Help us out.
Now you want money, huh? You called me a useless loser for being a bartender for so long. It's pretty ironic you're asking me for money now. I wasn't mooching off you in my 20s. I could up money bartending so I could start my studio. I worked at a bar frequented by artists and made a lot of connections. I built up my career at that bar in a way. So you're going to ask a loser bartender that works in a grungy bar to send you financial support?
Well, I wouldn't ask if I didn't have to. I didn't want any of this. Your brother is in a wheelchair for life. I can't change that. I have to do something to help him live his best life going forward. He's my son. So I wouldn't even contact you, let alone ask you for money like this in normal circumstances. Whatever you want to call yourself now, you're still a low life. You're just peddling art instead of booze now. It kills me to have to beg an ungrateful brat like you for money, but I'll do whatever I have to for my Oliver. If you're not going to move in and help out with the financial burden, if you can't afford to send $2,000, send at least half of your paycheck to cover what you can. There's therapist costs. We need to buy a better wheelchair for him. We need every cent you can spare.
My base salary is $15 a month, but I make a lot from other revenue sources, can be as much as $200 to $500. Of course, I run my own business, so I have expenses, but there are also grants and fundraising that I do, so it might be a little too complicated to explain to you.
$500. That's $500,000. Art is expensive.
Yeah, so I'd have to admit I can afford to financially support you guys. This isn't about whether I can or not. It's about whether I want to or now. And I won't be paying for anything in this regard. Honestly, I couldn't care less what happens to any of you. You all berated me and tortured me and told me I wasn't welcome in my own family. Well, now you're not welcome in my life.
Wait, Diane, this is serious. Your salary is $15 a month? You're telling me the truth? Oliver wasn't even making that kind of money at his fancy firm, and he went to graduate school and got him a... How can you, with basically no formal secondary education, be making so much? How is a loser bartender suddenly rich?
Have you ever considered that maybe I'm not a loser? Maybe I wasn't the perfect child like Oliver, but I had my merits. Maybe I deserved some love as well.
What are you complaining about, Bo? I'm your mother. I raised you the best I could.
You never took an interest in what I was doing, or said anything to encourage me growing up. Do you know how damaging that is to a little girl? My grades weren't as high as Oliver's, but I got mostly A's. I was a start on the varsity volleyball team, but none of you ever came to watch a game. I think, though, above all, I wanted you to look at my art. I was so overshadowed by Oliver. I just wanted one thing I was good at, that you guys could be proud of. I guess that's how I became drawn to the misfits of society, and really pursued my own self-expression. I even got recognized internationally this year.
There is no way. What do you mean recognized internationally? You mean you're on a website or something?
Mom, I won the MacArthur Fellowship. It's one of the most prestigious awards you can get in the art world. It's a true honor and every validation I need for everything I endured in my life. I have my business, I have my art, and I'm surrounded by wonderful, supportive people in my life. I think I'd like to dedicate my life to those around me who have supported me through everything, even when things were difficult.
Oh, so you won an award. Good for you. You can't live on awards, though. It sounds like you're doing okay for yourself for now, but it's not going to last. What you're talking about is easy money. It comes and goes fast. Your little fellowship is just for show. It doesn't guarantee anything.
Actually, the MacArthur Fellowship is $500, paid out over 5 years. There's no restriction on what I can use it for. I can explore my truest expression without worrying about money or time. I guess I want to thank you for everything. I've become resilient. I can motivate myself to do what I want without relying on others, and I'm not dependent on my family to support me in any way. There was a lot of self-hate and loneliness in my life before, but the art it pushed me to create has made my life better beyond any dream I could have imagined. You know, I think I'm going to leave my art gallery in the hands of the art collective I started and move to Europe with my husband for a few years.
What? You're married? When did you get married?
Let's see. Almost 2 years ago. I didn't think to invite you since you told me never to contact you again.
I wouldn't have attended anyway. So you married some art hippie like you. Does he work or do you have to pay for him?
He's great, actually. He works in it. We're very happy together and have a sweet little daughter. She just turned 6 months old.
So you make more money than Oliver, and you had a child. Oliver and Marlene were too worried about their careers to have a baby. This isn't fair.
Sorry, I rattled on about my life that long. I guess I still have some resentment towards being called a loser all my life. I don't need your approval or praise, but I want you to know I turned out just fine, despite being told otherwise every chance you got. I'm fine with the past now, but I don't see myself ever going past acceptance and actually forgiving you. I feel nothing towards any of you anymore. You're not family to me. Despite what happened to Oliver being tragic and life-changing for him, I don't owe you or Oliver anything, and don't feel moved to action in any way.
Please don't say that, Diane. I'm sorry you felt so lonely growing up. I'm sorry we were so mean to you about everything. We were wrong. You're not a loser. You proved that. Your dad is really sorry, too. He says he just didn't know what to do. He thought it was just sibling rivalry. Oliver is apologizing, too. He says he's sorry. He says what happened to him is karma, that he deserves this for what he did to you.
So he's saying he deserves to be in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Oh. He really does say whatever it takes to try to get what he wants. I'm not going to be manipulated by him anymore.
Diane, he's crying. Are you saying you don't believe your brother? He's helpless. Please, Diane, don't give up on your family. We can resolve any issues that come up. Please. Help your brother out. Help your mom and dad out. We had happy times together, I'm sure of it. Let's just start over as a family. Don't give up on us.
People don't change, Mom. Being a family or blood-related doesn't excuse abuse or bullying. I understand that family is portrayed as this loving, warm, supportive bunch that should always care for each other no matter what, but my reality was different. A toxic environment is harmful, and I can't put myself of my family in harm's way again. My family, my husband and daughter, deserve better than that.
What? You're not even letting us see our first granddaughter? Diane! We've dreamt of having grandchildren for years.
You do have a grandchild now. I'm just not going to let you be involved in her life. Maybe I should say I wouldn't want you guys making a bad impression.
Wait, so you're just cutting ties with us?
You kished me out of the family 3 years ago. I'm not going back because I suit your needs now. Please, I suit your needs now. Please don't contact me or my family ever again.
Diane, wait.
After that, I blocked Mom, Dad, and Oliver's phone numbers immediately after, so I haven't talked to any of them since. My hometown friends update me on what's going on, though. Apparently, my mother refused to move out of the duplex and was adamant they make it work. Dad had no choice but to take on a second job working nights as a security guard. But at 64, it's doubtful he can keep working like this for long. Mom is doing most of the caregiving for Oliver and works part-time at the animal shelter to pay for this physical therapy sessions. Unfortunately, Oliver doesn't appreciate any of their efforts and has grown bitter having lost everything: his marriage, his job, and his freedom. Rumor has it he spends all day on Google Street View looking for Marlene and refuses to cooperate at physical therapy or at home with Mom. He's verbally and physically abusive towards Mom now, so I guess she's experiencing what I grew up with now. Sorry, not sorry. Thanks for subscribing.